Welcome to Brawlhalla.
We're loading into this game one. I'm really excited to see how this is going to go. Graffiti, how do you think this Qatar Ditto is going to work out?
3, 2.
Yeah, the fact that it is a Qatar Ditto is pretty a very important thing to note, because Megd, although definitely having some expertise on the Qatars, we've seen some Asuri, like right now. We've seen some Ember. Megd's definitely playing a little bit of Ember. But Guichabou has really kind of been championing the Qatars, at least out of this matchup, a bit more, as we can see really start to come through. Megd's really only been able to get chip damage on the Qatars, while Guichabou just getting read and react after read and react, taking a 30-second stock, and this is exactly what I was going to find my way to say. Megd really kind of relies a lot more on chip damage and just like, oh, no, you can't hit me, I'm going to get like one small hit on you. Guichabou is about those big bursts of damage and never really is satisfied with just one signature or just like one small piece of a combo, always trying to maximize it, and you can start to see that really come out to play. Megd kind of suffers the first stock there, having a hard time learning how to counter Guichabou's offense. You can see him taking high to the sky. This first game is already going pretty handedly to Guichabou, as Megd, the king of defense in North America, is having a bit of a hard time finding his way out of Guichabou's offense, playing Lin Fei, more of a rushdown character than a Suri.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely seeing Guichabou control the pace of the game so far, although I do see Megd kind of adjusting to the playstyle, getting it back a little bit. We just saw him hit that D-Light recovery that's going to even up the stocks. But what's so scary about Guichabou is that when you have such a mastery on a character, much like Impala, you never know what they can pull out of their brain, their Lin Fei brain, in order to, get some type of combo on you. Yeah, that thinker on their shoulder. Get some type of combo or some type of whatever. But we're seeing Megd getting a little explosive themselves with a D-Light ground pound side air, 3-hit string. Ooh, side light is going to play Guichabou off the stage. So Guichabou looking for a, ooh, wow. Like, this is what I'm talking about. Just mastery. I would never expect to do that. Oh, okay. Tars are out.
Some of Guichabou's reads are not quite coming through. Megd is starting to hit a few more sword combos. We talk about like how defensive he is, but when he wants to be aggressive, he actually has some pretty handy sword combos. And there's a few small strategies and like mix-ups on sword that a lot of people do, but a lot of people kind of forget to credit to Megd, because he can be kind of clever on the I don't know, I was trying to find a funny name for sword, but I couldn't find anything. It's kind of hard to find a funny way to say, Guichabou falling down to that last stock, because now Megd's brought the game to even. Whatever Guichabou found at the beginning of the game does find a little bit more of it here to revoke that first stock and that second stock from Megd. Is still having a bit of a harder time of fighting it. Megd is just putting a lot more space in between him and Weech.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying this set so far. Like, we saw that super explosive gameplay come out from Guichabou on that first stock, and now we're seeing Megd kind of, like I said before, get back on their footing and even up the game. But as much as Megd, gets that footing back in, is kind of, you don't want to play Megd's game because you're always going to lose. Ooh, D-Sig out from Guichabou and got that recovery. Megd gets stomped on. Oh, but Guichabou can't confirm. They're going to throw the Qatars, get stage control back. What a crazy explosive play. This is why I love watching these players. Now they're just going hit for hit, Qatar hit. Side 6 not going to hit. Megd's going to get a nice little punish. Both players are... Oh, okay. I was going to say last hit red, but Guichabou's going to get a nice little inlet recovery on Megd. That's going to put Guichabou 1-up in the set. Very, very exciting.
So that was a very interesting game, right? Guichabou starts off with just this massive opening, 30-second stock on Megd. Not even a lot of players in single-digit PRs able to do that, and yet we got, PR 20 pulling that out of his pocket? Still, kind of had to take a few speed bumps in the middle. Megd was kind of able to adjust and say like, no, you're not running away with it. There's a fine for speeding. or however that goes. So
Like that.
Guichabou kind of had to take a few hits, go down the last stock, and then only just at the end, when he was able to really clutch up and bring it home, was he able to find some of what made that first stock so special for him. So we already kind of start to see the adaptation from Megd come through, but still, what Guichabou has studied textbook day in, day out, also just kind of always working out for him. So very, very interesting game to kind of see the best of both of them come out to play, and yet still one of them takes the game pretty confidently. Other than a few speed bumps, other than a few like times where he drops a few of the pieces, Guichabou really had a majority of that game under his control.
Yeah, just swinging out hard in the first stock, you know, getting some nice guitar reads and extending those. You know, Linfate, if I'm not wrong, isn't the strongest legend, so you definitely have to get a lot of hits to build up that damage so you can get that knockout, as like compared to like Taros or something that's just going to kill you in orange. So that's definitely very formidable, and just like you said, we're seeing these PRs come up against each other, PR 5 versus PR 18. So despite how drastic the numbers may look, these players are very, very evenly scaled, and I think that just speaks for like the region of NA. You know, like we just saw PR, what was it, 38 or 40 go against PR 1, and it was kind of close. Yeah. So yeah, definitely very exciting. I wonder if these players are going to stick on the same legends. You know, go back into that guitar ditto. I don't know if Megd's gonna want to swap off a Suri and maybe like, hey, Guichabou kind of got the guitars on me. Let me like swap off to another legend I know, like Faye or like Val, or the Megd picks. But I'm looking at the legends here.
You say that, and that actually kind of reminds me, I haven't really seen Megd play Fate in a while, and also while we're talking about some of the ways that players can adapt out of the game, I'm pretty sure of Guichabou doing a quick restart, so anything that he was able to do in this game, despite having some issues with his game, I think bodes pretty well, considering that he's probably only going to do better. Megd still sticking with the Asuri. We might just have to see a little bit more sword than guitars, because I feel like Megd's sword, if he's really feeling it that day, you can't find your way in. I think it's all about the map and the weapon that Megd chooses to try and counter a suit of Guichabou.
Yeah, definitely. We definitely know Megd more for the sword. Megd's also very good on the guitars, but it seems like everywhere Megd may go, he's always got that sword with him, because it's a consistent weapon, you know, and he's good with a consistent weapon. So that's a great combo to have. Yeah, of course. But we're seeing absolute run back. No skin change, no map change, no legend change. Everything's exactly the same. So we're seeing Megd put a little bit of pressure with those guitars. Guichabou is starting off with the cannon, opposed to last game when they started off with the guitars. And we're actually seeing Megd put a lot of damage onto Guichabou. It's poised to take the first knockout here. Megd's got a pretty significant lead. Ooh, yo!
He could be pretty innovative and creative with his combos.
Now, was that a weapon throw down GCP light recovery? Like
something like that.
Sheesh, that's gonna put Megd at 3-2 stocks in this game 2. Very, very exciting.
Barely even touched, and really picking up the pace. That's the thing. Megd, plays pretty slowly most of the time, but every once in a while picks up the pace. What?
I'm surprised it didn't
okay.
kill.
I was really expecting that too.
GC
Even get the
slider!
stage off of it so we can make it back.
He has no options. Ground
Out
pound's
of
gonna.
options. A perfect response. I was about to be so worried, thinking, oh, Megd's an entire stock ahead. Barely even touched on his first stock. Still going in on Guichabou. Yeah, no, Guichabou just immediately no. We're starting from 2 stocks. That first stock doesn't count.
Yeah, that's and this is what I find so scary about him, because we saw in game 1 he pulled off something like that with the guitars, and now you see that same amount of skill on the cannon. It's just super explosive player, right? Guichabou is a super explosive player, and we all know Megd, is more of that analytical, methodical player that is gonna pick your brain a little bit and understand what you're doing. But You know, you can't understand explosiveness always. Enlight is going to reject Guichabou from getting back to the stage, but Guichabou's going to end up fighting their way back onto the stage, getting that cannon. Enlight's out, looking for some sort of a cannon combo, get that damage up. We're going to see if Guichabou can actually even up this a little bit, put in some more damage on the Megd. Ooh, damage looks pretty even to me. Bro.
Yeah, great way to interrupt that recovery. Both players. See, this isn't just Megd trying to space them out. This is also Guichabou trying to be very, very careful. Both these players do not want to lose this stock. They have both proven themselves immensely out of the first game or two. Both pulling out a little bit of dash jump in, dodge out, but Megd able to slap Guichabou down to last stock, but still, all it takes is one good interaction. Pretty sure it's Cannon Prime. That's going to be a pretty good way to solidify a KO option. Dodges through the toss, but does not have an option to find his way around that. I forget the name of it. When you dash and then you hold the thing.
Slide charge.
Slide charge. There we go.
Yeah,
slide charge breakdance. I don't know why I forgot that. That's actually really embarrassing. I'm surprised at myself. I managed to forget that.
It happens to the best of us. But yeah, slide charge breakdance is gonna even up the stocks 1-1 in this game too. And Guichabou's just got those guitars, putting on some damage. But Megd is also fending off with that sword. Damage looks just about even. We're playing some good Brawlhalla Nooch right now. That's that good Brawlhalla Nooch. I love it. Megd jumping in the air, trying to avoid those strikes from Guichabou. And I'm looking for some nairs. Nairs are landing out. Side light, in light. Ooh, Guichabou fighting back. Dare. Ooh. Okay, look at these strings on the guitar. Gonna opt for guitars again. Very interesting. Might be looking for a in-light recovery. Ooh, reverse side light. Or Sarah, I mean. Ooh, it's just they just keep hitting each other. Okay. Megd's gonna in-light, nothing off on it.
Nobody wants to lose their stock. Everyone's so nervous to try and find their way in.
Oh, is that true? Is that true? Is that true now?
I don't think it's true, but I think it has low frames and it also or low dodge frames, and it's also just good for a mix-up because there's a lot of things you can do out of N-light. There's D-light, there's either jump or chase dodge for Nair or Sair, or you could just go up for recovery. N-light is very, very hard to plan what your opponent is going to do afterwards. So when you get caught in it, it's kind of just find a defensive or movement options and pray that it works. And either Megd was already out of a dodge that Guichabou punished, or was just not expecting the recovery, and Guichabou pulled out the right mix-up at the perfect time. Guichabou's getting a lot better at clutching and not really choking under pressure. Currently, 2 of these games have been, like sudden death last stock.
Yeah.
After having some momentum ripped away from him, is able to bring it back, and look at this, and still keep it going. Guichabou's mental has gotten so much better over the course of the past few months. Look at this.
Yeah, that's a great compliment to give, because when you're fighting against Megd, you're fighting against one of the players that has arguably the best mental in the game, because Megd has the ability to just sit there and wait, and then now you have to have a good mental, because if you get mad, Megd just be like, okay, well now you're mashing and I win, So it's very cool to see these players kind of like keep a level ahead and stay calm and focus on your gameplay, because you're never good when you're tilted. But D-light recovery is not exactly going to kill. Megd's going to look for a side air there. Is going to send Guichabou all the way off the stage. Going to whip the side air, but recovery is going to put Megd just up by a sliver of a damage lead.
We have seen Guichabou find his way back from this situation before, and unless Megd is still continuing to adapt, I think we might see him find his way out of this yet. Again, you can start to see Megd's actually, his way of spacing around Guichabou's attacks is really good right now, choosing to play a lot more of a mid-air, jumping a lot, spending a lot of time above the stage, but still avoiding all the anti-airs like Guichabou has, like that N-sig, which does connect. Still, all that extra credit is going to serve Megd pretty well in Game 3 right here. So Megd's ability to kind of avoid Guichabou's anti-airs, you got guitars D-light, you got and SIGs for both weapons. There's also some, I think side air is also not too bad on cannon, although that can be a pretty situational one. We try some pretty good, there we go, there's a deal, like pretty good anti-air options. Megd's trying to bait those out as much as possible, trying to get Megd to, or Guichabou to whiff and miss something so we can come in and punish like usual.
Oh my god,
But
that
still,
read.
Guichabou, yeah, is starting to get a lot more of these reads. You said Megd is very calculated, and that is true, but Guichabou is also starting to get so much better at these reads, and sometimes just kind of always knows what Megd's doing. Like, he did the interaction once, went like F5 to do the frames back, and then redo the interaction, now knowing what Megd's gonna do. I don't know if that made sense, but if you go back a few frames in training mode and you can like see, I don't know, maybe I'm explaining too much.
No, you're onto something. You're onto something. No, I definitely feel you, and the way I'm looking at this game right now, and Megd's up by a pretty decent damage lead, gonna get some more damage on the Guichabou, but this is showcasing like types of players in Brawlhalla, and two of the most noticeable playstyles in Brawlhalla I see a lot are like the calculated player and the explosive player, and this is a prime example of two opposite ends of the spectrum, you know, and it's just really cool to see how these guys fight out. Now, Megd putting just so many hits on the Guichabou, has a full stock lead on him now. Cannon inlight is not going to kill, going to pick up those guitars, looking for something to connect, maybe a side air. D-light recovery is going to put some more damage on the Guichabou, but it's not going to knock it out. Well, Megd's looking for some type of sword combo, and the D-light recovery that's going to give Megd his first one, right?
Yeah, that's 2-1. That game was really kind of hard up against, really kind of stacking up against Guichabou. We're going back to Demon Island. So the thing is, Guichabou really likes Demon Island. We're going to, if you watch a lot of his sets, a lot of his gameplay, you're going to see him go to Demon Island almost every time. Probably one of his favorite maps. And Megd definitely likes Demon Island. I don't know if it's as much as Guichabou though. And so choosing to spend that much time here, kind of taking him to home field advantage, is a very, very interesting scenario, and I'm impressed that Megd is able to make the best out of that. Guichabou trying to catch the landing of Megd, but Megd's been running out of options while just being like a few feet off the floor multiple times. Megd's patience, just like you said, has some of the most unbreakable mental, and it's so hard to get into his head. You just have to play his game and hope that something goes right along the way. You can't really break Megd.
Yeah, we've seen this so many times, and just like you said, home field advantage. You know, I see a hella Guichabou sets where he's playing on Demon Island definitely favors this map a lot, and we're seeing Megd took that last game, you know, with a significant lead, and we've seen the Megd reverse 3-0 so many times, and so that's always something you should be scared of. But right now, both players are fairly even, okay? Commentators curse. Get back to stage, so I'm not commentators cursing you. There we go. Both players are kind of even right now, but they're both fighting for that first knockout and hopefully some extra credit on that second stock, so you know they can force a lead and win this game 4. No confirms are coming out. Megd's looking for some sword hit to connect. Side air is going to send Guichabou all the way off the stage, but not going to kill it yet. Guichabou fighting their way back on the stage. Megd looking for that recovery, but it's going to get uppercut. Oh my god. GC sidelight into reverse snare. Like, it's, you would never expect this. I would never expect that. It's a great way to put yourself up in the set.
Each one of us to try and hold on to this lead. Has not quite been in this position before in this set. It's usually always been trying to come back from Megd's lead and then keep the game even as long as possible. Guichabou now has a set and is building up extra credit quite nicely. Yeah, the recovery dropping, pretty unfortunate, but makes it up very quickly. Side air sending Guichabou's first stock packing, but still all the extra credit. You can start to see Megd being extra careful to put there, running out of options, but extra careful to space out this Lin Fei. Guichabou is going for some very strange and unique options just to try and find anything to throw Megd off guard. Even trying to guess like, okay, you're gonna come close now, right? I can throw this move out. Megd is really baiting Guichabou with a lot of attacks, but has not quite been able to get close enough for the punish. We are coming into 3 minutes into the game, and Megd starting to shift orange, soon to be red. Guichabou could capitalize on that, but still Megd gonna come out with a few more spare guitar hits, and that is going to be answered back. Not quite enough to even out the game.
Nice.
And Guichabou not able to make too much of that little string right there, both guarding the weapon. I think they never mind. Guichabou wants to stay on cannon. That's gonna be great for KO potential right here.
Facts. Yeah, KO potential. Very, very important vocabulary word. That's the vocabulary word for today. Brawlhalla vocabulary. KO potential. Because Cannon has D-Light Nair, which is a KO confirm. Guitars does not have any like true KO confirm. You know, in-light recovery is a pretty tight string. We both just had that discussion how it is not true. But that dash side sig is going to take Megd down to his last stock. And if Guichabou is able to finish out this game, that will send them to winner semis. So there's a lot on the line here. An upset is on the line here. Recovery doesn't kill there. Cider doesn't kill there.
A lot of options.
Oh,
Yes. It always kind of hurts to see you're out of options before you get set off the side of the stage. So like the moment that cider connects, you're like, I already have nothing to begin with.
Yeah, that. I see players just like DI off sometimes. And yeah, I'm mashing my keyboard praying for an option to come back, and I know it's not. Ooh, guitar strings out.
Pretty good.
Gonna catch that
use of this
dodge.
last stock actually.
Yeah. Guichabou kind of. Guichabou very getting pressed out a little bit by the guitars here. Megd just reading, weapon starving, and controlling the movement. Hella stage control. Side air is going to throw Guichabou off. Instinct's not going to connect. Hopefully Guichabou can use those guitars to find themselves back somewhere in this game. Gonna get a nice little hit, lone hit. Side air doesn't connect. Inlight misses. Just very like minute spacing error. Guichabou's fighting their way back on stage. Weapon throw isn't gonna connect. English, there we go.
Guichabou has his work cut out for him. He needs to try and evade Megd's pressure for just a little bit longer while trying to find some KO option on his own, and unarmed Megd's not.
Oh my
Guichabou's
god!
Not gonna be quite
no way.
good to face off Megd, so picks up another string to bring the game to even. Wastes a dodge trying to catch Megd's movement options, but still back with cannon. Guichabou trying to slowly find his way in. Off the bubble and the side sig will complete a 3-1. Megd gets set down to lower bracket before top 8. How often does that happen?
GC side zig? That's so risky.
He also looked like this clip. He's been throwing out gravity cancels that just work. He barely even uses them, but when he does, they work. They're magnets. He only uses them when he knows
at that.
they would be super clutch. Even though ground pound to celebrate. Look at that.